What a great year for games, right? We even got some of the best games of the last decade. So naturally, putting this list together was hard. You find some games on this list that you've never heard of, and some of the most popular games this year didn't really do it for me, so you won't find them here. So here are my top 10 games of 2025. I'd love to know your favorite games of this year in the comments, so let us all know and have a nice discussion, okay? Alright, let's go. I haven't even finished Hades 2, and I already consider this to be one of the greatest action games I've ever played. And to be honest, it's not even that different from the first game. But it doesn't have to be. The core gameplay is snappy and fast. Every run feels different thanks to a great arsenal and a lot of random skills. And most importantly, every run means progression. All these seemingly small mechanics like the keepsakes, arcane cards, alchemy, side missions and so much more blend together to an immensely addicting and satisfying meta progression. I just can't get enough of this game. And considering this is a roguelite, characters are so well written and most importantly, so sexy. I honestly can't find anything about Hades 2 that I don't like, and I'm already thinking about my next run. So if you just play one roguelike this year, it should definitely be Hades 2. It's the best. Magnolia is my favorite Metroidvania of 2025, which means you won't find Silksong on this list. The reason for that is that Magnolia offers a sense of freedom and variety I've never seen before in this genre. You get these spirit skills from defeated enemies, and later on you can unlock variations of them, which feel completely different. The result is a combat system that may seem simplistic at first, but encourages creativity and experimentation. And defeating the fantastically designed bosses this way feels absolutely great. Besides that, the world is filled with secrets and hidden items that ultimately make you stronger, which makes exploration feel so satisfying. And honestly, the devs nailed every other important aspect of the genre as well. Platforming is fun, backtracking always feels great. Oh, and special shout out to the music, which turned out to be one of my favorite soundtracks of this year. Magnolia is the ultimate Metroidvania package for me, and definitely one of my favorite games in the genre. This is one of the biggest surprises this year. Fretless, the rapper Riffson, is a beautiful RPG centered around music. Instead of traditional weapons like swords, shields and all, you use an acoustic guitar, a bass and more to fight. But there is a twist, because you need to unlock riffs, which are your attacks. And since combat is rhythm-based, each of these riffs requires a different timing. It's easy to understand and definitely requires some practice, but that's exactly what makes it fun. With additional upgrades to your instruments like a capo and new strings, you can customize your weapon to your liking. And with effect pedals, you can set additional passive effects that can make combat feel very different. All this actually creates a surprisingly deep and highly varied combat system that is so incredibly fun to play. Of course, the music in this is phenomenal, and it's worth mentioning that combat music changes depending on the instrument you're using. Fretless is an amazing game. It's short, full of love for RPGs and music, and easily one of the best indie games I've played in years. Sometimes it's simplicity that wins me over, and Mandragora Whispers of the Witch Tree did that better than no other game this year. It doesn't try to reinvent the wheel at all, but instead focuses on fun gameplay mechanics that work well together, and a large atmospheric world. You choose one of 6 classes, collect tons of loot with very detailed stats, unlock combat skills, and much more. You also unlock some abilities which kinda makes it feel like a Metroidvania at some points, and I love that. Combat itself has a certain way to it, and definitely gets pretty intense. Especially some of the boss fights are really challenging. And if this wouldn't already make for a fun game, exploration is done so well too, as there is a bunch of useful stuff to find, and even some optional bosses that are worth fighting. I know that a lot of people think that this game is mediocre, and I get that it doesn't have one specific thing that makes it unique or anything, but I think Mandragora is brilliant. It's the most fun I had with a side-scrolling RPG since Valkyrie Profile 2. So to any Souls-like and RPG fans, play Mandragora, I'm sure you'll love it. Ever since I've played Split Fiction, I ask myself, do I like this more than It Takes Two? And the answer is no. But Split Fiction is still one of the best co-op games I've ever played, and one of the best games this year. The variety of the levels and the surprise and excitement that comes with that is easily the best part of this game. Playing this with my partner left me in awe constantly because of how creative the levels are designed and how fun the mechanics are. I love how level design and mechanics are linked to this surprisingly engaging story and the two protagonists. I also love all the side stories and how vastly different and insane they are. It was always so exciting to discover something new in this game. After the credits rolled, my partner and I looked at each other and I instantly said, this is a 10 out of 10, without a question. Split Fiction is a masterpiece, and I definitely can't wait for the studio's next game. Monster Hunter Wilds was my most anticipated game this year, and while I have some issues with it here and there, I still consider this to be one of the best games of this year. The established monster hunting formula got a beautiful treatment with some changes that just feel right. I really love how areas are super open now and that everything is connected without feeling overwhelming. That way the world of Monster Hunter feels more like an actual ecosystem than ever before. I also absolutely fell in love with how insanely good combat feels. The additional mechanics like the focus mode and all the reworks of the weapons feel so good. It's ridiculous how well designed this combat system is. At the core of the series are the monsters though, and man, Wilds has some of my new favorites like the Rey Dao, the Arkveld and the Zoshia. These are some of the best fights I had in any game. Monster Hunter is always a miracle, both in game design and execution, and Wilds is no different. While I wasn't a big fan of the endgame loop, this is still my most played game this year for a reason, and I absolutely can't wait to see what Capcom has in store for us with the upcoming expansion. Do you know that feeling of being slightly interested in a game, then playing it without having any sort of expectations, and then being absolutely surprised by how much you love it? Yeah, that's Dispatch for me. The two main reasons for that are the story and characters. I mean, wow, this really feels like you're watching an amazing show on Netflix or something. Every decision you make feels important, no matter how high or low the stakes are in the moment, because you anticipate how characters react. And it turns out that even the small decisions can change how the story plays out. But let me tell you, there are some really big decisions that will not be easy to make and that completely change the story. So much so that it's easy to just start a second playthrough right after the credits rolled. Then the voice acting. It's easily some of the best work I've heard in years, and everyone brings their character to life beautifully. Oh, and I almost forgot, but the gameplay sections in which you actually dispatch the characters is actually super fun. It gets intentionally stressful, but once you get the hang of it, it becomes super addicting. Honestly, instead of watching the next mediocre show on any of the streaming platforms, just play Dispatch. It's an amazing game. A lot of people said that Trades in the Sky First Chapter is the perfect remake, and while I wouldn't agree on that, I'd still say this is an amazing game that deserves so much more love and attention. While the story is notorious for being a bit of a slow burn, it's still one of the best parts of this game in my opinion, and not only because of the surprising ending, but also because this game gives itself a lot of time to flesh out characters and the world itself. Especially Estelle has quickly become one of my favorite characters in the genre, thanks to the brilliant writing that makes her and everyone else feel relatable, authentic, and simply likable. While this is great and all, my favorite part of Trades in the Sky was easily the hybrid combat system. The action combat part shines with simplicity and almost feels like combat straight out of an Ys game, while the turn-based combat requires strategic thinking and often feels like a little puzzle. I absolutely love this hybrid system, and it even got to the point that I got a bit addicted to it. Trades in the Sky First Chapter is such a well-crafted game that improves on pretty much everything the original established all these years ago. This is my first Trace game, and if this is how good the series is, then I can't wait to get into it. I'm just realizing that 2025 is the year of surprises for me. Well, I definitely wasn't expecting to love Donkey Kong Bonanza this much, but here we are. This is simply peak game design. The freedom and exploration thanks to the possibility to try pretty much everything feels absolutely amazing, and the destroying itself never stops to be immensely satisfying. But exploration only feels so good because there's so much stuff to find, and the most important thing is that everything is useful. That motivated me so much to get creative with destroying the environment to find stuff. The super abilities offer just enough variety to how Donkey Kong feels to play, and the way you have to use them is always designed so creatively. Every area is beautifully crafted and always feels like a big playground to smash your way through, and I love it so much. Then there are these optional challenges, which sometimes feel like a little puzzle, and they are so much fun that I never skipped a single one of them. Also, the music is great. The game looks fantastic on the Switch too, and this just has a certain charm to it that is irresistible. For me, Donkey Kong Bonanza is one of the few 10 out of 10 games this year, and it's easily one of the best platformers I've ever played. My game of the year is Clair Obscur Expedition 33, and I knew this right after finishing Act 1. This game just moved me so much more than most video games I've played in my life. The twisted story kept me at the edge of my seat and surprised me so often. The pacing is perfect, the presentation, the epicness is just peak, and the atmosphere all this creates is dark and hopeless, yet there is a brilliantly nuanced sense of humor and enthusiasm. It's unreal how the writers managed to pull this balance off. The characters quickly became some of my favorites ever because they all come with their own relatable motives, well-written personalities, and simply one of the best voice and motion capture acting I've ever witnessed. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 also has my new favorite turn-based combat system. I always dreamt of turn-based combat this active, but I'm not a game dev, so I had to wait for it to happen, and man, it's perfect. It requires good reflexes, strategy, and perfect preparation. But it also allows you to build a party with skills and passive abilities that fit your playstyle. It's a really deep system that encourages creativity and experimentation, and it is so much fun. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is a true masterpiece, and it's rare to get a game this special and with such an impact. I think this game marks a monumental moment for the industry, and for me personally, I now found one of my new favorite games of all time. So, did this surprise you in any way, or did you expect I Don't Like Silksong as much as everyone else? Also, let me know your favorite games this year in the comments. I love to talk to you about it. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.